Paris, the city of lights and love, hides a maze of darkness beneath its vibrant streets. The Paris catacombs, cloaked in mystery, create a stark contrast to the city's romantic charm. This comprehensive subterranean network is a silent testament to a different era. Imagine this: winding tunnels and chambers stretching over 200 miles, a labyrinthine network that's a city within a city. This is where countless souls have found their final resting place, with an estimated 6 million human remains interred within these chilling depths. A place where the walls whisper tales of the past, echoing with the voices of those long gone. This eerie underworld is not just a collection of bones and skulls, but an embodiment of history, of stories untold, of lives lived. You might wonder, how did this eerie underworld come into existence? Let's dive deep into the history. The story of the catacombs begins not in the 18th century but much earlier in the Roman times. It was the Romans who started mining the rich limestone deposits beneath the land that would one day become Paris. Over time, this extensive mining left a labyrinth of tunnels and quarries beneath the city. Yet as the centuries passed, these subterranean hollows were largely forgotten, left to gather dust and shadows. As Paris grew, blossoming into a thriving metropolis, a problem began to surface. It was the middle of the 18th century, and the city's cemeteries were overflowing. The sheer number of the dead had become a public health crisis. The city was in dire need of a solution, and it turned to its forgotten underworld for an answer. It was then that the decision was made to repurpose these ancient quarries. No longer would they remain as mere remnants of the city's past. They were to serve a new, more somber purpose. The quarries were to become a mass grave, a final resting place for the city's countless dead. The authorities began the monumental task of exhuming bodies from the city's cemeteries and transporting them into the tunnels. The process was painstaking and grim. Night after night, under the cover of darkness, processions of workers moved through the city, carting the remains of its citizens to their new underground home. It took decades, but eventually, the catacombs were filled. The city's problem was solved, but in doing so, it had given birth to something entirely new. What had once been a network of forgotten quarries was now a city of the dead, a labyrinth of bones and silence beneath the bustling streets of Paris. The catacombs had been born. It was a solution born out of necessity, a testament to the city's resilience in the face of adversity. And so, the city of light birthed a city of darkness beneath its very feet. The transformation from a simple underground quarry to a bone-filled labyrinth was not an overnight process. Quite the contrary, it was a task that required careful planning, a certain amount of secrecy, and a touch of the macabre. As the cemeteries of Paris began to overflow in the late 18th century, city officials were faced with a dilemma. They needed a place to put the remains of the deceased, a place that was out of sight yet respected the sanctity of the departed. Their solution was as ingenious as it was eerie. They decided to move the bones into the empty quarries beneath the city. This was not a task to be taken lightly. The bones were transported under the cover of night, in wagons draped in black cloths. A procession of priests accompanied each wagon, chanting the service for the dead as they journeyed through the city streets. The citizens of Paris watched in quiet reverence, their city transformed into a nocturnal funeral procession. Once the bones arrived at the catacombs, they were not simply dumped into a hole. The first inspector of quarries, Louis-Étienne Héricard de Thury, took charge of their placement. Under his watchful eye, the bones were arranged into patterns along the walls of the catacombs, creating a macabre display that both honored the dead and served as a reminder of the inevitability of death. Over the years, the catacombs would become a mausoleum, a subterranean city of the dead. This was not simply a graveyard, but a monument to mortality, a place where the living could reflect on the transient nature of life. It was a place where the bones of the anonymous dead were given a final resting place, arranged in a way that spoke to the artistic and philosophical sensibilities of the time. What started as a solution to a practical problem soon took on a life, or should we say death, of its own. The Paris catacombs, once a simple underground quarry, had been transformed into a hauntingly beautiful mausoleum, a testament to the city's dark history. From a hidden burial ground to a popular tourist attraction, the catacombs have come a long way. Once a clandestine burial site, the catacombs of Paris have transformed into a chilling spectacle of mortality, drawing in tens of thousands of visitors each year. These visitors, intrigued by the dark history and the grim display of bones, journey into the depths of Paris to explore the mysteries that lie beneath. But it's not just the tourists who find the catacombs alluring. Rumors abound of illegal parties echoing through the skeletal corridors, clandestine gatherings where the revelers dance among the remains of centuries past. Secret societies too are whispered to meet within these hallowed tunnels, conducting their cryptic rituals under the watchful gaze of countless skulls. Today the catacombs stand as a chilling reminder of our mortality, a stark contrast to the vibrant city above. They serve as an eerie testament to the dark history of Paris, hidden away beneath the bustling streets and the gleaming lights. The Paris catacombs are a monument to the city's past, filled with intriguing aspects and chilling tales. From the depths of history, these winding tunnels have served many purposes, each more fascinating than the last. The inception of these labyrinthine quarries date back to the Roman era, a testament to the city's ancient roots. As time moved on, the catacombs took a grim turn, becoming a mass burial ground. The bones of millions found their final resting place here, transforming the caverns into a sprawling mausoleum. The meticulous arrangement of skulls and femurs is a hauntingly beautiful sight, a morbid work of art. In our modern times, the catacombs stand as a popular tourist attraction, yet they also serve as a gathering place for secret societies, adding another layer to the shroud of mystery. Beneath the City of Lights, the catacombs continue to cast a long dark shadow, a testament to the city's complex and intriguing history.